Hi everyone, it's Eileen from Now There's a Crafty Idea, and I am here today with a little craft with me. I've decided to make some covers because it is autumn and I want to make some glorious autumn journals. So I've got a variety of different covers that I want to make. Not all of them are specifically for autumn. Some of them are just covers that I've been wanting to make for a while. They're all soft covers, so I just thought, you know, I'll turn the camera on and we can do this together, and we'll just chat it through and see how it goes. So I'm not sure where to start, so let's see. I've got that many. I'm just going to start with the bottom one. Let's move all these out of the way. Now I've already pre-cut the fabrics because, well, you know about sizing things up, and what I'm using is these big envelopes. They're just the single one, single sheet envelope I should say, but I'm going to glue two together because I just want a little bit more structure in my journals. And although these envelopes are great and they're the perfect size, I just think some of them are a little bit too thin, so I'm just going to glue them together, and hopefully, let's just peel this off, hopefully that'll give them the structure that I want them to have, because yeah, I don't want them to be too floppy. The fabric I'm using is a variety of fabrics. Some of it's upholstery, some of it's quilting, some of it's just general use fabric. So I want it to have some structure anyway. Oh, I didn't glue that bit down. Let's give that a press down. Right, now I'm just going to line them up and stick them down together. It doesn't matter that one of them is slightly bigger than the other. I mean, you're talking millimeters, a millimeter even. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. Now that's just nicely thick. It's not too thick that it's going to cause a problem with the journal, but it's thick enough that it's going to give us a little bit more structure than I had. Now, the fabric I've chosen for this one is this lovely, it's a furniture fabric, or what's that called, upholstery fabric. Now it's like an English garden, and I think that was the name of it, English garden. It's quite thick and it's quite sturdy, and I really like it, and I've frayed it all the way around because I like that frayed effect. And although this isn't exactly autumn, it's got autumn tones in it as well. So, and for the inside I got this fabric. Now this is a heavy cotton, and the good thing about heavy cotton is that, you know, you can, you know, mess about with it. And with this one, what I did was I coffee dyed it, so it's been coffee dyed, and then I haven't bothered ironing all the creases out of it because I kind of like the effect it's got. It's flat enough that I'm going to be able to sew it, but it's going to have this texture of, as you know, as though it's been like just all scrunched up, which it has, and that way it's going to give it just a little bit more interest. And I thought, to finish it off, I would put a pocket inside, and I want the pocket to be the same as the front of the journal. So this is a really simple journal cover to make, and all I've got to do is line everything up and then sew around the edges. And I'm just going to make sure that we've got these envelopes where I want them. And this is I always go a little bit bigger. If you've noticed, when I'm making my journals, I always make the fabric just a little bit bigger. One, because it makes it easier to sew around them, and two, I like having that that fringe that's a little bit bigger than your pages. The reason being, it gives it just a little bit more protection, especially if you're going to use decorative edges, which I do a lot. You know, I generally like to punch some of the pages along with an edge punch, and I do like to use decorative edges, so I tend to use yeah, I tend to leave it just a little bit longer, because that way it's got a little bit more protection for those decorative edges. So the only thing I want to decide on is if I'm going to add some lace to this, because I've got a variety of different laces, and I just wanted to decorate it just a little. I was thinking maybe just, that looks quite nice actually, doesn't it? Yeah, and that kind of mirrors that, and it gives it that kind of almost that yin-yang effect. You know what I mean? Let's see what else we've got. I don't think this one's going to, no, that one doesn't match. And the only other one I've got to hand, I have got others, but I'm not sure what I've done with them, is that one. It's too dark. I mean, I suppose what I could do, no, that's, I don't know. It's nice, but I think it's a bit too fussy. No, I'm just going to stick with that one. I like that one. It's cute, it's simple, and it's just going to add that extra little bit of, I don't know, that extra touch, that extra decorative bit. So let's just cut, I'm just going to cut it ever so slightly shorter than the cover. I'm not bothered about this side because, as you can see, it's frayed. In fact, I might do the same with this side, and then that'll become part of the decoration. Like everything else, it's going to be frayed at the end. Right, first thing I need to do then is to sew that on. Now, I've had words with Betty, my sewing machine. She's a bit happier now. So I've told her I'm not getting rid of her. Right, I'm going to just quickly sew this one, and then we'll have a look and see what it looks like, and then we can probably just sew around the rest. I'm just going to keep everything lined up. There we go. I'm not going to bother back stitching because it's going to be stitched into the other seam. Now I think I'm just going to do the one stitch along the top. I'm not going to bother stitching it again because, like I say, it's going to be stitched into the seam, which is going to keep it down, and I think it'll be quite nice to have it just a little bit free floating. Right, let's get some get a little bit of glue to stabilize this. Where's my glue? Now this isn't going to it's not going to affect the fabric. All it's going to do is keep everything stable while I'm sewing it, because obviously if I don't put some glue on, then this is going to just slip and slide about, and it's going to just come out skewy, and I don't want it to be skewy. This will just keep everything in place. See, there we go. Now let's put a little bit more on. I'm not going to put as much on this side because this fabric isn't as heavy. Let's just see where these coffee patterns are and see which is the best side. Oh, I like that side because it's got a nice coffee pattern on it. So let's put that side down. There we go. Just try and smooth it out a little. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. These journals are not meant to be perfect. If that's what we wanted, we'd be making scrapbooks. Although I do like making scrapbooks, that's not what I'm after at the minute. Right, now I'm just going to hold that one down while I'm sewing, because I'll just give it a little bit of a tug up, because I'm not going to be able to glue this one down, obviously. I do have some clips somewhere, and you know where it is. You know when I said I wasn't going to tidy up anymore? I tidied up. I tidied up and now I can't find anything again. Right, I'm going to just get the sewing machine, and I think I'll do this one on a zigzag because I just think it gives an extra bit of structure. Now I am going to turn the camera off while I do this one, just because it takes a while to go around the whole thing. So I'll see you in a second. So that's that one, and it looks really nice. I'm liking the thread colour. I'll get me words out in a minute. And it's made a nice job of it. Let's have a look on the outside. Yeah, I'm liking it, and it's nice, and it's got the nice deep pockets in. And if we fold it, let's just fold it and see. There we go. Yeah, that's going to be a really gorgeous cover, isn't it? And we can make a nice plate to go on the front there, which will just be lovely when I decide exactly which journal that's going to be. Yes, there's like little bits sticking out here and there, but I kind of like that. It just gives it that added extra of, you know, interest. So, yeah, loving it, loving it. So there's our first one. Now, our second one, I got this. Now, this fabric that I got, It's this lovely tweed fabric. Now this stuff is so expensive. A real Harris tweed, or a real tweed fabric, is like really expensive, and this stuff is really good quality. Luckily, I was in Barnard Castle, which I think I told you about that place. Did I? Yes, I told you about that in the last video. And there's an upholsterer's there, and she had bags of offcuts for sale. Now the bags were just like a shopping bag, and the offcuts mostly were just little strips, but there was one bag that had some bigger bits in, and I just thought, luckily when I've cut it down, it's the perfect size for a journal cover. So I was like, yes, what says autumn more than a good Harris tweed? I mean, come on, they're just beautiful. And you know, who doesn't want a nice coat made out of this lovely, oh, I wish you could feel this fabric. It's just perfect. I mean, the craftsmanship in this stuff is just amazing. So anyway, yeah, she had those, and she says I work a lot with Harris tweed. I don't think she does in our upholstery business. I think she does other things as well, but she says these bags, they go so quick because everybody wants bits and pieces. And I've seen some lovely crafts with this. There's one woman on a market in a city near me, and she makes these lovely little owls with little leather bellies and big button eyes. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I must pick myself one up one of these days. Right, I'm going to do the same again now that I've told you a story, and I said I wasn't going to be a storyteller this time. Yeah, that's what you get when you come here. Do you know, sometimes it's nice to know these little bits and pieces. It just, you know, it just adds to the overall video when you know the the little backstories of some of the stuff. Not to mention that, like, I just love to talk. In case you hadn't figured that out yet. My sister, if she's watching, hi Mandy, she'll tell you. From being born, I've never shut up. There's nothing wrong with that, though. This is why I like storytelling, because I get to talk. Right, now that's going to be... They say that the problem with some of these fabrics is they kind of warp a little bit. So you've got to be really careful when you're laying them down. Fabrics are a bit funny like that. Now this fabric that I'm using, it's like a Hessian type fabric, and you can see it's got slight imperfections in, and it's you know, it's not perfect. And I thought that, like, next to the Harris tweed, which is a perfect fabric, it's just going to give it that little bit, you know, extra special. And I thought, instead of well, it's not big enough to go right the way across anyway, so I thought, right, what can we do? So I thought maybe we could put some little pockets in, and I like the idea of doing that, and I'll tell you why. Because it's going to remind me of a Harris tweed jacket, and as I've just said, Harris tweed is one of my favourite things. I'd love a Harris tweed coat. I'm just going to cut, I'm going to use the pattern as a guide. You've got to be careful when cutting this stuff, because you know, you don't want to waste any. And even the threads, you know, when I'm pulling the threads out, I tend to keep them, because you can use the threads, the wool, pure wool, and you can use them to make these lovely little bows to add decorations. So yeah, I'll even keep the threads off of it. It's so precious, I just love it. And that's like cozy nights in front of the fire to me. And isn't that what autumn's about? Nice cold walks and cozy nights in front of the fire. Right, now see these? Now I'm going to make this into a nice little bow, and this is pure wool, and it's the best wool because they don't use anything less. Now if you were to pop that as a decoration on a nice tag, how cute is that? See, I don't throw anything away. People must think I'm crazy. Right, I'm just gonna double this over and cut it in half. and then that should give us one for the front and one for the back. Okay, let's get ourselves some more threads. Oh my word, yes, I am that person. You've got to keep everything is useful. Isn't that the whole point of a junk journal? Oh, that's going to look cute. That's going to look so cute. Oh, this is lovely, isn't it? I'm saying that and I know you're all thinking, get over the tweed, Eileen. I was going to use this to make a Sherlock Holmes journal, and I still might. I haven't made my mind up because I do like Sherlock Holmes. He's one of my favourites. Conan Doyle is one of my favourite authors. So yeah, I still might do that because it is quite a masculine cover. Right, I'm going to sew those on first. Now, first of all, as I said, this is warping just a little bit. I'll try and get the bias right, and then I can straighten the fabric up. There we go. Right, let's see if that's going to be better. That seems to be a bit better. Now, I'm not bothered about getting them perfectly lined up because you won't be able to tell if they're lined up anyway because the journal's going to be in the middle of them. But aesthetically for me, it matters. And what I need is a pin. But I've put my pins in other things and now I can't find them. Aha! I found some pins. Whee! Oh, simple things, simple things. Right, there we go. I'm just going to pin this down. Right, again, I'm going to sew it off camera and then I'll come back and show you what it's like. Okay, so that's that one done. I'll just take the pins out. And right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the threads through to the back. Now this is just another way of making sure you don't get loose threads. If I can do it, I might use one of these pins actually, it'd be easier. And then pull them through to the back of your work and then just knot them before you cut them off. You probably already know this if you're a sewer. If not, this is just another little tip. It just keeps everything a bit neater. When you're making junk journals, neatness is not like always what you're going for, so this is just in case, you know, you wanted a different aesthetic. It just keeps everything nice and tidy. I mean, it doesn't always work either. Sometimes it takes a while to pick up the thread. And I did back stitch the top of the pockets because I wanted to make sure that they were, this one's not going to come through. I wanted to make sure that they were nice and secure. So that's so I did that, and then once I've got all these threads sorted, we can then sew the rest of the journal together. I hope I'm not getting in the way with my big head trying to see this thread. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. I just like the idea of having the two pockets. That came a bit loose, didn't it? There we go, that's better. Right. This one's a little bit tangled. Okay. Again, I don't know if that's going to come through. Yeah, there it is, it's through. So thank you for everybody who's been asking about Dexy, my dog. He's had a rough week. He's had a rough week. He's had a couple of complications, so he was getting better, but then we've had to have him back to the vet, and you know, he hasn't recovered as quickly as he did in the past when he's had to have, you know, surgery. But he's getting there. He's getting there. He's just feeling a bit sad for himself. And we're taking it in turns. Me and my husband, we're taking it in turns to sleep with him in the sitting room because he's, you know, he's feeling sorry for himself. Bless him. He's never been a dog who was bothered about sleeping by himself in the sitting room, but he just, you know, he's feeling a bit sorry for himself, and he's got the corner shame on as well, so he never likes those things. The Elizabethan collar, if you're wondering what that is, it's the collar that goes around the dog's head to stop him from trying to eat his own stitches. But yeah, so we've been taking it in turns. Right, I think they worked out all right. They're not exactly perfect, but you know, we're not going for exactly perfect. Right, let's see. The good thing about this tweed is there's no right or wrong side because of the way it's woven. I'm going to go with that. Like I say, there's no rhyme or reason to it, it's just I fancy doing it that way. Right, let's get some glue on here. Yeah, so he's getting there, he's getting there. You know, I keep on have to remind myself, because he keeps on forgetting himself, that he is an older dog. Because he still tries to act like a puppy, and bless him, he tries to run around, and I swear he still thinks he's a puppy. Now this one I've left quite a bit bigger than the envelopes. Now I've done that on purpose because, one, I love this fabric and I didn't have to cut it down any more than I needed to, and two, I just thought it's a nice fabric to have to protect your pages and any things that you're going to have sticking out, like tags or decorative edges or anything like that, because this is a really good sturdy fabric. And you know, because I could basically, because I could. Right, let's get some glue on there. I'm liking the way these are turning out. I just felt like doing some covers. I've got all my autumn. I've been on Etsy again. Yes, I've been buying. And I found some lovely digitals, and I'm going to have a show and tell, maybe as the next video, and show you what I've been buying. Because I had a bit of a splurge, and now I have like another list of journals to make to go on top of the other list that I still haven't gotten around to. That's next to the first list that I still haven't worked to the end of yet. So yeah, journals upon journals to make. Right, I'm going to sew around this, and again I'm going to do it off camera, basically because you don't need to see me sew around it once you've seen it 1,000 times. I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch again all the way around. I've done zigzag stitch. I don't think you can pick it up on the camera, but I have done a zigzag stitch up the pockets, and I want to mirror that with the cover. Right, be back in a sec. So that's that one done, and I have sewn all the way around it. It looks really cute. I really like the way it looks, and the threads as well, they've all really matched in that dark green thread. And I love the way the pockets look. What I might do is I might put like a button on there, and yeah, just maybe it's a little flat button just to make it look like a proper jacket pocket. I kind of like their idea. Let's get these pins out because I don't need them now. Right, so let's get this one folded. Let's make sure I fold it properly. I don't want a crease in the wrong way. Yeah, I like that. That one's going to take a really lovely front plate on it. I'm going to have to really think about where I'm going to put on there, and I've still got some of this left, so we could use this in some point inside the journal. I'll pop that inside so we don't lose it, and that would be good. So that's another one we've got finished. Right, the next one I've got is this orange one. Now I've already made some nice little leaves to go with this. This fabric, I have had this fabric, this orange fabric, for about 30 years. I got it given by a next door neighbour. She'd been a bit of a crafter, but you know, her hands were very bad, and she was finding it difficult to sew. So she gave me a few different bits of fabric, and this orange one was the one. And I never ever knew what to do with it, because it's, you know, the colour of it, I didn't understand. And she says that she'd bought it in the 70s, so it is quite vintage. She'd bought it in the 70s when this colour was all the rage, to make herself a pair of trousers, and never gotten round to it. So that's good. So what I've done is this other fabric, you won't believe where I got this from. This was from a vintage shop, and it is a pair of very vintage J.C. Penney's curtains. So, and I just love the colour. Again, I think this, I couldn't give you a date on this. It was in a vintage shop. The packaging that it came in had never been opened. Never. So it was all still brand new with all the labels and everything on it. But it looked old. It looked like it was an old packet. So I don't know, maybe somebody might recognize the pattern. I have no idea. I just know that I love it. I absolutely adore it. So what I've got here, let's have a look and see. I want to use, and this one I thought, because this let's move this one out of the way. Because this is very thin fabric, I don't know if you can see, but you can actually almost see the line. Well, you can see the lines through it. It's quite thin. So what I wanted to do to give it even more of an orange, like autumny tone, and just to add another layer, was to put it over the top of this lovely orange. So that's what I'm going to do, so that the front cover is actually going to be two fabrics laid together, which one is going to give us that nice layered effect, and it's going to give us the a nice colour, like backing colour to this lovely fabric that it's just a little bit too thin, but also it's going to give us a little bit more structure. Now the inside of this one, I'm going to use the orange because it is a lovely pumpkin orange. It really is a lovely pumpkin orange, but I love this fabric too, so I've decided to do two sets of pockets on this. So I'm going to put these pockets in like this. Excuse me. And then I'm going to put this one across, so you'll have that pocket there and then this pocket here, and that's going to give us plenty of pockets in the cover itself. And then after I'd finished like cutting everything out, I had some scraps of fabric left, so I thought autumn colours. So I've literally, I'm just going to move this so you can see, I've literally just put the orange fabric and the JCPenney fabric together, and I have sewn round in a leaf shape and give it just a little bit of a, you know, the veins and that. And then some of them I've just done the orange fabric. So I've just got a collection of little leaves that I think I'll probably end up using on the cover, if not inside the book itself. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them. The spirit took me, and I just thought, you know what, instead of getting rid of those little scraps or using them in clusters, let's do something different. So literally all I did with these, and they're very easy to do. If you've got a sewing machine, you can hand sew them if you want. Normally I would have hand sewn them, but I just had the machine out and the fabric was there. I literally just put little squares of fabric together, and then with the sewing machine I just drew a leaf shape on one side, a leaf shape on the other, and then put a couple of veins in, and it was as simple as that. They're not like the perfect leaf, but so what. And then what I'm hoping is that these will actually fray as time goes on, and it'll end up looking like a bit of a frayed leaf, and then that'll just look cute. I think it'll look really cute as time goes on with them. So I'm going to pop them aside because we don't need to use them yet. So let's get this, we need to get the inside cover done first. So again with the sewing machine. Right, first of all we want these two pockets. Now before I do that, I did think, if I can find it, I'm just moving the sewing machine about, I did think about adding some trim, and I just thought that would look nice. I kind of like the brown because there's the dark brown in the actual pattern itself. I like that. That's what I'm going to do. I need to find some scissors. I'll be back in 1 second because I can't. I think I've put the other scissors away. 1 second. This is what you get for tidying up. Yep. Right, got them. I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to put this trim on. So let's get that cut. And same for this pocket. And while we're at it, let's do some on this pocket too. Because I kind of like this trim. It almost is giving it a 70s feel. I kind of like that though. I've got this great craft book that I bought with all the intentions of cutting it up for junk journals, and you know what it is, I just can't bring myself to do it. It's a 70s craft book, and it's got all of these, like, you know, doing batik and basket weaving and all these wonderful crafts that were the big rage in the 70s. And yeah, so I've got that, and it's just the artwork in it, the colours of it, because it's all browns and oranges and creams, and I love that vibe. Right, I'm going to stop talking and just get on with this now. I'm not going to put this to the top, or am I? Does it look better at the top, or does it look better a little bit down? No, I like it a little bit down. Right, okay, I'm just going to quickly zizz these, and I'm just going to eyeball it, because as you know, that's what I do. Right, let's get this done. And I'm not going to bother with the back stitch because it's going to get stitched in anyway. Right, yeah, I like that. That's nice. Even with the green thread, it's still nice. I mean, the green thread might not be the best choice for this one. I might have to change threads. Yeah, I think I will. But I'm still going to zigzag this on with the green. Then I'll have to go and find some other thread. Which will be at the bottom of a box somewhere, but that's fine. I just think with these colours, it's not going to, the green's not going to look as good because all the tones are different. But I don't suppose it matters on the lace. In fact, it'll give it that extra little bit of decoration. So. There we are, that's that one done. I'm really liking the colour combination in this one. That one's a bit further down than that one. And normally that would bug me. I would have to take this one out. But because that's going to be the back of the book and that's going to be the front of the book, you're not really going to see. So, let's get this one. What I might do is put a couple of pins. Or should I just, I'll freehand it. You know me, I'll freehand it. I'm a freehand kind of girl. Excuse the noise. There we go, and that's that done. Now, let's get these threads off. Okay, you move over there bits. One last thread. Okay, yeah, I quite like that, the way that one turned out. That is going to bug me. Okay. It's going to bug me, and I didn't do a back stitch, so it'll come out easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly undo this one and re-sew it on, and then I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so I've got that one done, and I've managed to find some nice thread, which is a variegated thread. So it's like oranges and yellows and lovely autumny colours. So that's great. It's amazing what you can find when you look in your boxes and realise that you've got all this stuff that you haven't used. I must have so much stuff that I don't even realise. Right, okay, let's get these sewn on first. Now, we had some pins, didn't we? So let's get a pin. Just want to make sure I've got them lined up as much as possible. I want them to be pretty straight. I mean, they don't have to be perfect, but you know, this is the kind of thing that you notice and drives you crazy, or it does me. I know that junk journaling is an imperfect thing, and it's supposed to be an imperfect thing, but yeah, sometimes I just can't help it. Right, I'm just going to sew these and then I'll be back. Right, so I got that on, and they're not absolutely perfectly straight, but I'm not bothered because they look pretty good. I love the variegated colour. I don't know if it's going to show up really well, but yeah, it's really nice, and it gives it that, it's all the different colours that's in the fabric and in the backing fabric, so I'm really happy with that. Right, so the next stage is to put our little sandwich together before we sew around it. So let's see, we need to work on these first, because again I'm going to use 2, simply because I want the added extra structure. Just because I think, you know, it's going to have like 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 layers of fabric, but I do want it to have the added extra structure of these as well. So let's get a little bit of glue and make a sandwich, or laminate as the posh term would be. Right, I'm just going to make sure I get these corners this time. Don't want them lifting. Okay. Now, let's get this lined up because I'm not 100% sure whether they're exactly the same size, these envelopes. Some of them are just slightly different. Let's see. That's not too bad. That's all right. I mean, they are a little bit skewy, but that's fine. Oh, I like the... That's a nice texture. Getting caught up with textures now. Okay, now, this is going to be a bit more difficult because obviously I am going to have two fabrics and I don't want to have to pin them all together all the way around. I was hoping I might get away with a couple of pins. Problem is, again, these fabrics are on a bias and the bias is being pulled out of shape. Even though this fabric has sat in its own packaging for years, it's pulled out of place a bit. So yeah, I don't even know how these curtains would have got to England because I've never heard of a JCPenney in England. And I'm aware that I think is it an American shop? My lovely subbies in America, is JCPenney an American shop, or my Canadian subbies, is it a Canadian shop? I've no idea. So I've never heard of it in England, and I have heard of it but not in England. So let me know in the comments down below. Drop a comment and tell me, does anybody know where JCPenney's comes from? Because yeah, I'm mystified as to how these curtains got here. The only thing I can think is somebody's bought them and brought them back with them. Maybe someone's like sent away for them, I don't know, but it would have been a long time ago. Anyway, right, there we go. I think that's about right. So now let's get a little bit of glue on here to hold that fabric on. And again, I'm not going to put loads of glue because I don't want it to be stuck down, because once the journal is sewn, I want there to be a little bit of movement in it, which is why I'm using a glue stick and not a tacky glue, because the glue stick will give up more easily. If you use a tacky glue, it would just be stuck and that would be it. Right, let's make sure we get this positioned. And again, I've made it purposefully bigger than the envelope, but not much on the top and the bottom. I've left plenty over on this side because see how it's slightly skewy still, just because I want it to have some protection for the journal itself. I think that should just about work. As you can see, the fabric is like slightly lifted. I might have to put another pin in that bit because it is slightly lifting on the front. Okay. Isn't it awful when you're trying to work with a bias that just won't do as it's told? Right, let's just pop a pin in there and hope that keeps that bias straight. Right, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I say, I want the layers to show through. Right, okay. Now, here we go with the back layer. I've got to admit, when I thought about making all these covers up, I was like, oh, I do love making covers. And then you've got your covers ready for whatever's to come. So yeah, sometimes it's nice just to sit down and get all of your lovely precious fabrics out that you'll, or your papers if you want to make them with papers, and just sit and make some nice covers. Because sometimes, you know, the inspiration for making a journal can come from many places, and sometimes when you get inspiration, you sit there looking at a blank cover or you know, just whatever it is you're going to use for a cover, and it can be a bit intimidating thinking, well, what kind of cover shall I make for this? Because, you know, you'll buy a kit or you'll get a collection of things together and you'll think, what cover is going to go well with that? This way, you've got the cover first, and the cover can be your inspiration. And I kind of like it that way. I kind of like it that way. Right, now. Okay. I'm not going to try and pin this down. There's too many layers for the pins already. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep a hold of it. Like I say, I don't see where it's, you can see the different layers. and it's not, I'm never going to get this perfectly straight, and I don't want that because I want the different lace to show through. I want you to see that this is a multi-layered journal cover. Right, so here it goes. I'm going to sew it. I'm going to do it, I'm going to turn the camera off to sew it because you don't need to see us sewing it, and then I shall come back and show you what it looks like, and fingers crossed it's going to work. Okay, so that was a bit of a nightmare. The thread that I put into the sewing machine just screwed up the tension, so basically I had to take it all out and redo it, but it's turned out nice and I'm liking it. I love the thread and I just love the way it's turned out, and these pockets are just so cute. So let's get this one folded and see what it looks like folded. There we go, and I'm loving it. I'm pleased that the main pattern, I left the main pattern on the back because that's not going to get covered, so you're going to see the main pattern, and this you're going to have like a nice book plate on the front, so that means that the this pattern round here is going to really show. It doesn't matter about this centre bit because it's going to be covered, but I'm really loving that one. That's really turned out nice, and like I said, sometimes it's the cover that that inspires what you're doing. Right, so on to the next one. Wow, we're really getting through these. I think I might have to make this a two-parter because I think after this one I'm gonna have to because otherwise you'll be sitting here all night all night watching me. Right, so this one's already laminated. No, it's not. Okay, so what this one is, this is a haberdashery fabric that I got, and I think I've got it wrong. Yeah, there we go, that's better. And it's just beautiful, and I got this given from my friend who has the haberdashery shop, and it was a little offcut from some curtain fabric, but it's all embroidered, and it is machine embroidered, but it's beautifully done. Isn't that gorgeous? And doesn't that just scream like autumn colours? It's this beautiful kind of almost green, kind of olivey type of colour, and I just put brown tones and gold tones, and I love it. I love it. So I wanted to use that, and I've matched that with just some plain Hessian again because I like the Hessian. And then I found this fabric. Now this might look like a strange choice because it's completely different to the front, but I just like the drama that it brings, so that when you open this you're going to have this beautiful embroidered front, and then you open it and you can have that drama inside, and I like that because this is a dramatic fabric. It's beautiful. It's like a taffeta, so it's really good quality, so I'm really pleased with that. Right, okay, so again I'm just going to see if that needs to fray. I don't think it's going to fray. I'm just going to do the one pocket on this one because I don't think it needs any more. The drama's there, and we don't need any more pockets. Now what I'm wondering is whether I'm going to use, I don't think I want to use any lace even, because I think by adding lace to it it's going to take away some of that drama, although it does look quite nice. But I don't think it's going to, that's not going to, you see, it's no, I don't think it's going to match. Okay, so let's get this laminated, and then we can get it together and we can see what it looks like. And if it doesn't work out, it's fine, I'll just take it apart and do it again. But I'm quite liking it, and I think this one will be, I mean, I will put a book plate, like a cover plate on it, but I think it'll be, the drama of the fabric is a lot, so it's not going to take a huge amount of like decoration, which is great because sometimes you don't need a huge amount of decoration. Sometimes you just need a little bit of decoration to leave it, you know, so that it doesn't get overwhelming, because yeah, you can overdo it sometimes. Now that is, oh no, it's just that one's smaller than the other. That's fine. Nope, I need to take that apart and do it again. I got that wrong. Right, let's just get some glue on it and try again. Right, it's just trying to get everything lined up. It drives me crazy. There we go. Okay, there we are. And again, that's given us like the extra support we need. Now we'll start with the front fabric. Again, I have cut it. I want to make sure I've got it the right way up, and I think that that's it. Right, I have cut it a lot bigger than the actual envelope, and the reason being, this is going to fray. It's going to fray, and I could use a fray check on it, but I kind of like the aesthetic of seeing it fray. I like that kind of aesthetic when it comes to the fabrics, especially on a journal cover. I kind of, you know, I think it's really nice. I don't think the glue is going to stick to this fabric, but we'll give it a go. It might just catch enough that we can, you know, that it'll stop it from slipping and sliding, but we'll see. We'll see. Right. Okay, because this is a taffeta, and it has been embroidered, it's never going to lay flat. It's going to have little ruffles and bumps in it, and that's fine. Right, that's fine, because it's meant to look like that. Right, let's go a little bit more on. This is such a nice way to make a cover, I think. I kind of like doing them like this. It's so nice. Right, now this one I've cut slightly smaller because I didn't want it coming out too much over the top and the sides. So make sure the bias is okay on this. It's not too bad. Okay, we can live with that. That looks about right. It's not perfect, but that's fine. Okay, and then a pocket. Now, that bottom part side is not going to fray very well. Let's have a look and see. I suppose I could fray it a little bit. It'll fray anyway. As the book gets used, it'll fray anyway. So I'll just leave that. And it's frayed a little bit on the top side. So I'm going to just... I want some of that... You see where it's frayed? This fabric's frayed. I want some of that kind of sticking out from underneath the pocket. So I'm going to do it like that. Now I'm going to still use the variegated thread because it's going to go perfect with this fabric, and it's going to add another element of decoration. And it's kind of got similar colours to this, so we'll try that. Now I am going to turn the camera off again because, like I said, my sewing machine's not happy at the minute. Poor Betty. I've put a different thread in that, and she just, you know, she's not handling it very well. She's old. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so that one's done, and it went pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with that. It's a nice deep pocket, and that'll get sewn into the signature, so it'll become two pockets. There are some places where the fabric's, you know, a little bit raggedy. That's fine. What I might do is I might trim those off a little. So let's just do that now. And this is the thing when you're using something like a taffeta, it's impossible to get it completely straight, and it will still just kind of shred a little bit, and it'll still look very pretty, but that's fine. Let's just get all these little bits off, especially when it's like it's been embroidered. You can see, you know, I tell you now, Betty wasn't happy about some of it. Some of those knots and that. She did not like sewing that. Right, okay, so let's get this one folded. Again, I think what I might do is I might just, before I fold it, I'm just going to trim this down a little. Just because I think that that's going to, it's a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, let's get those bits off. And again, that will fray. There we go, it's already fraying. Okay, so let's get this one folded. I'm really loving this one. I mean, it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be fun to decorate. And I may not even decorate it, you know. I may just leave the front the way it is. But I love that. It's great. It turned out lovely. I love the texture on it. It's beautiful. And then when you open up, you've got that little bit of drama going on. I like it. Yes. So we now have 1, 2, 3 and 4. using the same method, and we've got 4 very different covers. So we've got this one, which was our lovely tweed, and then we've got this one, which was our haberdashery fabric, and I love the lace in there, it really sets it off. And then we've got this one, which is my 70s JC Penney style journal cover. I'm loving it, I'm loving it. I can't wait to start with that one. And then this one, which is like a beautiful, elegant autumn kind of dramatized kind of fabric cover. So there's 4 covers. Right, now the other ones that I had, and I will show you them before we go, because there's a couple more left to do. Right, I have this one, which is like a nice check, and yes, it could be a Christmassy check, but with these browns in as well, I think it's quite a nice autumny check too. But we'll see, because I'm going to make the cover regardless, and then if it turns into a Christmas one, it turns into a Christmas one. If it stays an autumn one, then that's fine. And as you can see, I'm using that lovely fabric that I copy dyed, and no, I'm not going to try and iron it because I love the texture that it's got. So I've got that one left to do. And then these ones, so these ones are lovely. It was an old, let me just get that out so you can see. This was a pillowcase, and it was a quilted pillowcase that I got in a vintage shop. I got it in the same vintage shop that I found the JC Penney fabric. And all I've done is I've cut it up, and I've got enough out of it to make 3 covers. Now the middle one is going to need like an edging across the top and the bottom, but the other 2 came out with this beautiful edging, and then obviously they're open at the bottom. And because it's a pillowcase, it's actually already got the fabric for the inside cover, which is great. So what I'm planning on doing, because I don't want to lose any more of this lovely beautiful cover, is I'm planning on making it a wraparound. So there's going to be 2 wraparound covers. So we're going to do these in the next video. So we've got 2 wraparounds to do there, and then we've got our checky covered one. But we've managed to do 4 covers. Now all I've got to do is fill them. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But we're going to have loads of covers to work with, guys, and that's going to be our inspiration. I have got 4, 5, 6, 7 very different feeling covers that could be autumn, or could be, you know, could be something else, but you know, we're working in autumn here, so you know, these are gonna be the inspiration for what we put in them. We're going to use them as the inspiration rather than the other way around. Rather than getting the inspiration and then trying to make a cover to match it, we're doing it the other way around, which is a great way to do it. I'm really loving this one, and this one's taken my imagination straight away, so I think we'll probably start with this one. But anyway, before we get to that, let's finish making them. So the next video, I'm going to finish making these ones, and then we're going to start deciding on which one we're going to do. So here's the thing, if you have a preference to which one you want to see me work on first, now this is after we've finished making them, if it's the checky, if it's the quilted, if it's the JC Penney, if it's the lovely garden one, if it's the tweed, or if it's the elegant silky fabric, taffeta fabric, whichever one that you like the best, pop it in a comment down below, and then whichever one gets the most comments, that's the one we'll start on. And we'll see what happens. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Drop us a like, because it really helps. It really does help with the algorithms and YouTube, and it picks it up and it gets me more views, and it really just helps the channel, and it really helps me out. So please do drop a like, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And drop a comment and tell me which one that you're enjoying the most, which one you want to see me work with the most. And yeah, and then in the next one we'll finish these off, and then we'll be ready to start all of these lovely autumn journals. And I've got to say, I have been buying some lovely, beautiful kits. I've got autumn ones, I've got Halloweeny ones, I've got kind of oh, I've got a great one from Janie B Journals, and I'm going to show you that in probably not the next video, but the video after. And I'm thinking for that, I'm thinking this might be the cover for that one, but we're going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see. So yeah, I'm going to show you all of me all of the things I've bought, and we'll decide what's going where. Okay, so enough of that. Hope you've enjoyed it. Drop a like, drop a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and happy crafting. Bye.